everyone, this is Make4Life. In today's P4L review, we'll be taking a look at the Titans Returns, Titans class, Trypticon, one of the most anticipated figures this year, probably. And this is an early release from Toy Dojo. They actually flew this in overseas just so we can get an early look at it. So thanks to Toy Dojo, my sponsor, for that. If you guys remember, this was actually part of a fan vote to see which kind of Titans class figure it was like between this Trypticon, Omega Supreme, and who was the other one? Scorponok, I think. And this guy like blew everyone away. And to go up against Metroplex and Fort Max, it kind of makes sense, right? So anyways, here's the package. It's huge. I can barely reach here, so if I blow the mic, that's because I'm actually face to face with my phone right now. On the top, got some damage here, but you can see that he comes with Necro, the Titan Master or Headmaster, Full Tilt, the car that came with the original Trypticon. We got Trypticon here. You got a spaceship mode and his city or base mode. All right. On the sides here, you just get some artwork, not a lot, and then you get some story. Let's see if we can. Yeah, you can freeze on this if you want to read what this is about, but I'm not going to do that at this time. All the way on the back, as usual, you get a ton of product images. So not only do we get the full big shot of Trypticon in his Dino mode, robot mode, whatever you want to call it, you also see how he combines with some of the other like leader class figures that turn into bases. There's actually a number of different places, as well as, you know, all the Titan Masters that can be positioned on those tiny little pegs that we see on most of the Titans class figures. You see his spaceship mode and his base mode, and then again, the different versions of Full Tilt and his Titan Master. One cool feature that he does have is that he can eat Titan Masters. You open his mouth, and there's like a little channel that goes into his stomach, more like his chest, and you can open that up and release them. It's kind of like a prison kind of deal. Lastly, you see the upcoming figures that are coming down the line. We have Titan Master Ramhorn, we have a Deluxe Misfire, Voyager class Blitzwing, and Octane, which already came out, and Sky Shadow, the leader class, which we have already had released, and I think Overlord as well. All right, nothing really on the bottom, just black stuff. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of packaging. So out of packaging, this is how Trypticon comes disassembled, just to get him as flatly packed as possible. Kind of like Fort Max and Metroplex, who had like one arm detached. He also comes with a little bio stat card, a little cut on the edges, and you get to see that his stats are ridiculously high. Look at his bicep muscles, 20. He's got speed of 20 because he's a spaceship, I suppose. His intelligence is only 18. And then his firepower is 20 because he's a huge base. And obviously you can see the additional power that he gets with his Titan Master and Full Tilt added in. A very cool card. You also get a huge instruction sheet that kind of gets you through, kind of illogically, through all the steps here, and then on the back some more information about Full Tilt and Necro, and then you get the sticker sheet instructions. I haven't put these on yet. I'll tell you how after I cut and put all these on, how frustrating it is. But let's go ahead and deal with the first combination first. All right, so the first thing we'll do is, you'll see he comes in kind of a weird orientation. His head is kind of backwards along his back, the spine, but they did this on purpose. So the first thing we'll do is go ahead and pull his tail kind of straight like this, so it's one smooth line here, and it does kind of tab in down here. We're going to want to pull these green sections up on each side, and you slide in through here this channel with this piece here, this kind of I-beam or T-beam. Make sure you have it in the right orientation. Really quickly, the folks who've already gotten this have already talked about how notoriously tight his hip joints are. They're definitely tight, kind of scary sounding. I'll link to a tutorial on how to fix this, but I'm not going to do this on this video, okay? So go ahead and slide this into the channel here, get it all the way in, and for the it goes up and down depending on which modes you want. It's down for Dyno mode and up for the spaceship and base mode. And we're going to go into that first just because we're really close to spaceship mode. So just go ahead and go up and push down on it until it locks in, and you can get the legs down like this. All right, that's kind of how it looks. And again, I apologize for how difficult this is to actually keep in frame. Same thing here, slide this out. Get this straightened here, and we're going to slide that in all the way. We're going to rock that swinging hinge all the way to the top and push that in there. So that's how it gets assembled. I don't want to go into the different modes just yet. I just wanted to show you how to get that assembled first, and then I'll go ahead and apply all the stickers and come back, so when we get to the different modes, you'll get a full feel for what it looks like. But right now, taking a quick look, we do get some translucent orange here like we did in the original toy. We get some paint apps, purple, yellow, but by and large, most of the decorations are going to come from the 100 or so, or at least it's numbered up through 140 something, I think, stickers that it comes with it. So let's actually take a look at them, and they are the metallic foil stickers. Again, I apologize for the lighting; it's probably making it difficult to see, but there are a ton on here. Yeah, it goes to at least 150, maybe even more than that, and they're pretty tiny, but it's a nice quality sticker from what I can tell. So let's go ahead and do a quick cut, and I'll be back with these stickers applied. After what seems like a lifetime, I'm finally done applying all these stickers, 160 some odd ones. Some of them are very hard to find, even though they have kind of indicators in the booklet, and some of them have specific orientations or like indentations that tell you exactly where they go, so you can kind of mess around with where you want them to go with some of these. Sorry about that. Also, really quickly, be careful. A lot of them weren't cut perfectly, and so, like for example, like this one here, it wasn't cut all the way, so the sticker actually tore, and I had to piece them back together. It happened a couple of times. Most of them were pretty good, but the metallic stickers are super thin here, so they're very easy to tear. Just be careful while you do that. That said, after he stickered up, he has a lot going on, so it's great that they did this. And I really didn't enjoy the process, but I think that's because I don't fall into one of the two categories of sticker people. There's people who don't like putting on stickers, like me, and then there are masochists who enjoy it. So let's actually get into spaceship mode from here, because that's the easiest. What you'll do is you press this button, and this button is a little release that also actually holds in this leg piece once it swings down, but it also opens up this piece here, like so. And that way you have kind of the spaceship mode starting up. The next thing you'll do is come down here, and you'll see with this leg, you have a tab here that goes into the side. So just bend the leg until you get it oriented in the right way. Basically, you just have one knee bend here. Do the same for the other side. Push this to open it up. Get one knee bend. Tab it in like so. Then you flip out. I believe you flip out these sections to be kind of like wings or something like that. I'm not really sure. Then you can have the gun kind of pointed like so. And I think the only other thing you need to do is pull the head back, and that tabs in to kind of get rid of the visible head syndrome kind of deal that he typically does have. And the last thing you want to do is just go ahead and flip these pieces open like so. And there you have, Jesus, barely fits. Doesn't even truly fit. This is his spaceship mode. Let's back up just a little bit more. And that's it. It's really just his side pieces split open, his legs tabbed in. and having these little wingy things. For some reason, in the pictures they have it angled somehow to make it more like wings, I guess, or fins. But that's really it. There's nothing more to his spaceship mode. He does have his little gun that folds out here. He does have a little area here, which is kind of odd. I guess you can put Titan Masters in here or something like that. That you can fit in here, and it goes clear through. Not sure why you can't open this section up. You can actually, there's actually a cavity in here that isn't where the cavity where the Titan Masters come out if you eat them, but it's there. You can't really play with it very much because you can kind of hide some people in there. That's about it. If you want, you can have the platform out like this. This is really for base mode. You can start pegging in Titan Masters like that over here. But again, this is supposed to be out like this, and you can peg them like so. Lots of cool paint apps and decals that go on this version. You can like pull this out if you want to have a longer landing strip or something like that. But again, this is kind of the official mode. It is good that they kind of hide some of the head. That was one of the things with the original toy that that people complained about. I guess the visible head syndrome. Coming around to this side, again, lots of stickers that go in all the way here, here, down here. So they really do help. All this stuff down here is really nice. You can obviously articulate the cannons however you'd like, and extend them, although again, this is supposed to be for city mode. You have, what's his name, Full Tilt, kind of chilling up here. He also has a cannon kind of facing out of the front where he mounts. All this other stuff, again, you can mess around with it however you'd like, but this is the standard mode. And even here, he kind of looks like a dino mode head. He has kind of like eyes here, this translucent orange here. Kind of looks like almost a dino mode this way. I don't think there's really that much to talk about in this mode though. Alright, so let's go ahead and get him into spaceship mode. City base mode. First thing we'll do is make it easy. Let's go up here, extend these, just straighten them out until they snap into place. Lift this up, pull down on this kind of barrel, and that will help you release Full Tilt. We'll pull them off to the side for now. Fold this back up. And this is supposed to extend all the way up to be kind of like a tower or citadel, I suppose. Get these folded like this. These ramps will fold out like so. The front here, the front here will extend the ramp. And then lastly, you're going to deal with the legs. So the legs just open up as before. There's no switch or anything like that with the original toy. You just kind of open it up. Straighten out the legs like that. They do have a little platform for support here. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side if I can get it out. So straighten this out like that. And you can really position the angle of the legs however you'd like. Man, this is incredibly difficult. I apologize again. I could probably have shot somewhere else. But it's very difficult during the summer when you have your kids at the house most of the day. Alright. So this is going to be the best I can really do, unfortunately. Unless I start angling the legs down like this. Maybe that'll work a bit. Alright. Again, sorry about this. I just don't have the room here. So you get an idea of how this all works. This ramp will come down. These two ramps come down here. These just flip up like that, and then you get, similar to the G1 toy, the Citadel or base mode. Some additions that are kind of a throwback are that you can attach some of the leader class figures to various points. So these parts flip out. You can see that they kind of connect here to like the butt piece sound wave if you want to do that. Or you can do that here on this side. And again, it's really just about getting it positioned. They show it off with, I think, an Sky Shadow and Overlord in the manual and in the packaging material, but you can do it with any leader class figure. All right. I wish they had a little bit more decals here when you have this open. Most of them are on the underside, but you do have that option. With full tilt, you don't have any launching feature like you did with the original. The original one, you would like lift it up and there was like a little ramp and you press a button and it would like kind of come down. Nothing like that, unfortunately. You do have a little bit of playability in that you could store him if you lift up, untab this and lift up kind of the front ramp piece. Can you see this? You can actually store him in here. You can close it back up. Kind of interesting. I'm sure you can probably store some other deluxes in here as well. Do I have any other deluxes on hand? Oh, yeah. Here's a Hot Rod, just in case you want to see him. He doesn't fit, probably because of his spoiler is a little wide. But you get the idea. This is how it kind of all scales. You can see how big full tilt is overall. It's kind of a weird deluxe Legends in between size figure. And again, all over this place. I'm not going to point them all out just because there's so many points. But you have those little peg pieces for the Titan Masters. They can stand anywhere here, up here on here. There's even one at the center here, as well as at the top of the Citadel here. Stuff like that. Alright, so we're not going to talk about this mode anymore. I mean, you kind of get the idea. I think what everyone's really interested in is the robot mode, right? Or the dino mode. So let's go ahead and do that. Flip this up. Flip this up. Flip these pieces in. And we're going to go close up the chest. Fold back in the legs. Those tab in. You can flip the toe. Am I showing most of this? Flipping out the toe. And these kind of weird inner instep pieces that were kind of iconic for the original toy. Do the same thing on the other side. At this point, I have no idea if I'm on camera or not because I'm leaning so far forward over the camera. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and move the legs down on that hinge. So go ahead and untab that. And when you come down here, you are going to want to push on this to get the leg positioned. And then you can let go. Same thing on this side. Untap the hinge. Bring it down. Press on this. To get it all kind of collapsed. The dino arms are on this other hinge up here. You're going to fold that down. That tabs into place. On the back here, the arms tab in when they're curled up. So just pull that tab out. Unfurl the arms. And the hands. Let's go ahead and do the same with the other side. There we go. Arms down and tabbed in. Tab this, get it unfurled. And then, as with the G1 toy, you're going to go ahead and rotate this entire platform of the head. Untab it, rotate it around, collapse the cannons, like so. And then lastly, we'll go ahead and deal with full tilt. Before we do that, actually, let's go ahead and mess with full tilt just a little bit. So full tilt comes like this. He does have a little blaster. It's black instead of gray like the G1 toy. To transform him, you want to come to the front. And you're going to want to pull down on these two sections. You're going to open it up from the bottom and uncurl the legs. And then close these back up. So even now, it's a little bit more, already more of a transformation than the original toy. Next up, we'll go ahead and pull down on the arms. They're on a swivel that's connected to a ball peg that goes into the shoulders. Uncurl the fists. And this is on a double hinge. You want to pull that back and kind of position it like this. Oh, I didn't show that you can, where he is stored, Necro is stored is in his car mode as a driver, as you would expect. Pull that back down. Really quickly, we'll take a look at Necro. Sorry about the lighting, I'm really far back. That's why I'm not getting a good look at him. Black head, he still has the kind of same face details, silver paint. Just curl him up like any other Titan Master, and then pop him into the body of Full Tilt. There we go. All right, scooch it back. All right, to give you an idea of how he scales, here he is with a Legends class figure. Here he is with Hot Rod. So he is pretty much deluxe class in terms of height. In robot mode, at least, he's a little bit shorter and in his alt mode, and his blaster can obviously peg in here. Oh, sorry, I forgot to fold up his crotch. His crotch does need to fold up like that. My apologies. Or you can store it on the back where it was before. It kind of gets in the way of the backpack, but if you want to do that, you can do so. We're actually going to need to go back into alt mode for storage here. So let's go ahead and unpeg him. And we're going to actually use the Titan Master to release a feature in the Trypticon body. So we'll leave him. Close up the fists. Get this backpack kind of extended up like that. Pull up the arms. Open up the legs, the lower legs. Fold these in. Then close this up. And I can go back there and then push the crotch forward to finish him off. We'll plug this in here. And again, reversing the process as before, we're going to go ahead and open up this cannon section. There's a small tab here, or a peg, kind of like the G1 toy. Come on, there we go. Close up that cannon and fold it down onto his chest. All right, so here we have Trypticon in his Dino mode, and he's huge. He's not as big as Fort Max or Metroplex. To give you an idea, I did go ahead and bring out Fort Max. I don't have Metroplex, so it's a very different scale than you might expect. Like he's a lot shorter in Dino mode. However, that's because he's kind of hunched down. If you want him to get a little bit taller, you can straighten out his legs. His tail kind of curls up. I think this is kind of an awkward looking position for him though, to be this tall. But in the tallest configuration, a la almost like Godzilla, he's not quite head to head. So he's not quite head to head. He's still a good 3 or 4 inches shorter. But it's much closer. But again, this is maximized to his height. So it doesn't look right for him to be like this. Scooch down. I think having his leg at least 2 clicks forward and knee bent is the most aesthetically pleasing and still give you a decent amount of height. But who knows? I mean, most people will probably have him hunched over a bit more, like I did originally, and have his tail kind of down on the bottom. I did want to show off his Titan Master mode. Here, let me get him out of the way. If you remember in the original G1 toy, this translucent piece would open up and there was a cannon there. The way that works here is he actually has a small Titan Master port at the top. And as you would expect, you would go ahead and just pop that in. And then to activate the feature, you actually just push down on it. You can see this opened up, spring-loaded, and he has this silver cannon, forehead cannon. He does have his mouth opening feature with his cannon here in his mouth, double barrel cannon. It doesn't actually do anything as far as articulation. You can get, there's 2 pegs in here, so you can get the Titan Master situated like this if you want. Kind of like, no, don't close your mouth on me. Kind of holding that open if you want. It's a very weird choice to have, but go ahead. And as I said before, one of the fun features is you can get him eaten up down this gullet. This channel goes all the way into his chest. His chest is a little hard to open. I find that because it's pretty tight, even the whole chest piece comes out quite a bit. But there is a little tab section here, but even then it's really hard to get it open, at least on mine. I find that if you just give it a little bit of a twist on the chest to keep it from popping out and then pulling, it works the best. And of course, now that I say that, it's not going to work. There we go. And you can see the Titan Master came out from in here, and there's 2 kind of compartments there. So kind of a fun feature. So you can see more stickers in here. Close that up. Let's keep going with some articulation. You can see his tail. Oh, I didn't show this off in the various base modes or spaceship modes, but he does have a set of wheels. 1 down here on his tail and then 4 up here. In addition to his head articulation, he does have some neck articulation. Cannons can come back around forward if you want, or even have it leave it there. And then for transformation, we saw that he can actually get 360 on his neck. Again, not really the easiest movement, but it's there, just like the G1 toy. So he has kind of a hinge joint here and a swivel, so his arm shoulder can go 360 and go out about 90 degrees. He does have an elbow, a wrist, no swivel here, and then he has the 2 top claws or fingers on 1 molded piece and then 1 thumb piece here. So a lot of articulation there. His legs are where he gets some of the issues. So we talked about that. They are kind of tight going forward and back, but they can actually tilt out as well. And then they actually have if I'm not mistaken, I thought there was actually a butterfly joint of some sort. I might be mistaken. I thought there was. Oh yeah, see? There's a butterfly joint in here. You don't have any issues with his legs or his little weird heel pieces colliding like in the original toy. Man, his tail is making it really difficult to actually get him positioned. His knee joint is nicely ratcheted. No concerns there. It's really just this hip rotation joint. It does have his toe articulation down here. And then he actually has ankle tilt as well. These sound kind of scary, but they feel okay. So you can see 1, 2, 3 clicks going out. So you can get a really wide stance if you wanted to. Kind of a mean, hunching, wide stance. And then the little purple pieces do move inwards. That's not really for this mode. And I think we already talked about the tail, right? So it can go up here, store up like this, or come all the way down. that's kind of it. There's no in between ratchet or anything like that. All right, so I'm just gonna finish off the review here. Normally, I would do a transformation back, but this guy's so simple. I don't think you guys will have any issues getting him back. And I may do the transformation backwards as part of a live stream I'm going to do this weekend to feature a couple of toys, including this guy. If you guys, one thing I did want to mention is a bit of a hollowness here. I'm not really sure why, aside from the fact that this needs to fill in, but there is a bit of a hollowness there. Not terrible. As far as recommendations for whether I think you guys should get him or not, I think he's a really good Hasbro figure, right? If you have Metroplex, you kind of know what to expect in terms of overall quality of a certain figure this big. His hips are way chunkier, so he's not going to suffer from the same kind of hip issues as Metroplex. They probably went a little too far this way, though, and he's a little bit scary. But he's really well molded. There's a lot of detail in this guy all over the place. He does have way more articulation than I thought he would. Most of the things peg into place quite well. He does have some fun gimmicks like the cannon. He is, and he does have a lot of throwbacks to the original toy. Some things that I think that they probably designed for, but they didn't actually include for cost reasons, are like the little cannons and satellite dishes that they used to have. They used to kind of plug in here for the various space and spaceship modes. There's no batteries or LEDs or motorized stuff like the G1 toy or even like Metroplex that had, or Ford Max that had some sounds, Metroplex that had some LEDs. None of that kind of stuff, unfortunately, which is a shame because that was one of the coolest features of the G1 toy, the fact that it was motorized and could walk, and had some of those things that twirled around. Kind of miss that. I wish they did something like that, but there's nothing like that here, unfortunately. But that said, he's really well executed, I think. Very, very G1-ish, but they did do some nice updates to make him a little bit more enjoyable. All right. Well, that's it for today, everyone. Hopefully this answered your questions about the Titans Returns Titan Class Trypticon. If you have any other questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, as always. Again, thanks to Toy Dojo for sending this over as an early release. The regular release should be coming out later this month in July, so be ready for that. And I think that's it. That's all for today, everyone. Thanks. Have a good one.